Warm and toasty compared to here.
Yeah, welcome.
It's like 13 degrees here, man.
Yeah, it's right now we're at 12 with the wind blowing 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's gonna be about 6 degrees tomorrow morning when we wake up with no wind chill. So
I may stay in bed, I may not deer hunt.
right.
All right, so got into Grand Island, Nebraska with my good buddy Toby. Probably can't see him here in the dark.
Hello.
But now we are heading down to the ranch, and tomorrow morning in about, how cold did you say it's going to be, Toby?
It's supposed to be high as 6 degrees. Currently we are at 9 right now.
Yeah. So you folk that don't live in the States, that is about in Celsius, let's see, 10, that's about a negative 14. So minus 14 Celsius is what we're going to be hunting in tomorrow. So that's going to be really interesting, especially for someone like myself that lives in Phoenix and is also used to, of course, growing up in South Africa and the South African conditions. So that's going to be mighty cold. So we'll see how it goes, and hopefully those deer are nice and cold, and by 9 o'clock they decide to stretch their legs and we can put some good organic meat on the table.
So, first morning of our deer hunt out here in Nebraska at my good friend's dad's ranch, and we are busy kitting up right now. It's 13 degrees outside, which in Celsius will put us at about minus 14. So it's a pretty brisk morning, and my dear friend Toby is busy kitting up. I don't know, I'll pan around here. Yeah, if he thinks he's going out in that t-shirt, we got another thing coming because we're going to have a popsicle. We're definitely going to have a popsicle. This man won't be hunting in a t-shirt.
No. Long sleeves.
We're going to look like Yetis by the time we leave this house.
Beards
anyway,
of ice.
time for a good cup of coffee, and we'll catch you later.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Late to the dough field, but that's all right.
That's my fault. Old men.
Well, when you get in at 10 o'clock and go eat a good prime rib steak dinner and don't go to sleep till 1 a.m.
This is what happens.
This is what you do. You kind of, you're at the mercy of God now.
So was in the tree line when a couple of does came out, were feeding, and was lucky enough to take this beautiful doe. She was bedded down.
She's done.
And I did shoot her in the back of the neck. There's nothing wrong with doing that. If you know your capabilities of your gun, your ammunition, it's very humane. She died instantaneously. She's going to make exceptional eating. She's beautiful. She's an old doe, and we're going to make some jerky out of her. I'm going to make some mincemeat and make some stews, and a really good organic deer that's been living out here in Nebraska, feeding on corn, and just real natural, no hormones, nothing, no pesticides. Really going to be a good eating deer. First thing, very important, your tags. In the US, you've got to tag your animals. Even if you've got landowner tags or you've bought tags, you've got to tag them. Fish and Game are very strict about monitoring the amount of deer that are taken in a certain area or certain farm. So this is exceptionally important. So basically I'm going to go ahead quickly and tag her, and I'll just make an incision right here. Really simple. Take my tag, insert it through, just wrap it around, zip tie it, and you're good to go. I'm going to get cleaning this deer, and the next time you see me, I'm going to be cooking this deer or turning it into food for my family. We're going to use the gantry and the hooks, and we're going to hoist this deer up in the barn here. We're actually going to let the deer hang. For how long, Toby? How long are we going to let the deer hang?
We'll let her hang for 12 to 14 hours.
And then we'll butcher her.
Really cool the meat down, let the blood drain, and we'll butcher her up.
Makes it a little bit easier having this gantry.
Oh yeah, a lot easier.
So what do you reckon the temperature outside right now is?
18.
So that's a lot colder. It's half the temperature of the average household freezer or fridge, actual fridge.
Now your
So
fridge is at 42, 38 to 42. Your freezers are at 2. 18 degrees out here. Then you got windshield factor in. You're probably looking at 8 degrees, 6 degrees.
So basically we've got a natural freezer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The nice thing is you get the deer up in the air. It surrounds the deer with cold temperatures. You create a void in their cavity, which allows the cold air to get in, cool the meat down, which in return also allows the blood to drain. The key is to get all the blood out of the animal before you process it. That way you have a good clean meat.
And that's it for tonight. So we're gonna let her hang and then we'll probably start processing sometime tomorrow.
A white-tailed deer has front shoulders that are not affixed to the body by bones. It's a straight muscle and cartilage. And as I open this one up here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's your front shoulder that comes down. Here's your chest cavity. If you take your knife and run it right here in the void and come up, this right here will allow the front shoulder now to be separated from the animal. You know, another fun fact about white-tailed deer, their populations have doubled in over the last 50 years. We got more white-tailed deer than we know what to do with.
And do you think that's through hunting conservation?
Hunting conservation, absolutely. It's the hunting conservation hunters like Aldon and I, you know, when we take species and hunt them, we don't hunt them for eradication, we hunt them to control the population. If we didn't disease and overpopulation, animals getting hit by cars, people interaction, deer would be moving into the cities, the suburbs, and you'd have more human confrontations.
All right, so we were definitely successful on our deer hunt, and now we're going to do a deer stew. And we've got all our items ready here. We've got some tomatoes, a chili, a red pepper, an onion, some potatoes, of course our deer meat, mushrooms, and then we've got our spices. We've got some salt, garlic, cumin, some pepper, and yes, a little bit of white sugar, a little bit of like chili dust, and we've got our good old go-to Worcestershire sauce or Worcester sauce. Always love playing with these things. Number one, I always start off with an onion. So I'm gonna dice this onion up real fine. Doesn't have to be very pretty the way you do it, but it's the first ingredient I always put in any of my stews and a lot of my cooking is the onion. A little bit of olive oil. And while I'm dicing the other vegetables, I'm going to put this on the stove and just let it simmer just a little bit. Just at a low medium heat. Just going to let it go. Next on my menu, green onions. Love green onions. Just going to dice them up really finely. And in fact, these will go into the mix before the meat. I'm going to simmer these a little bit as well, just to add to the flavor. I take it all the way down to the root. This little fuzzy section here, the roots, that doesn't go into my mix. I don't put that into it. Right there, all nice and diced. Yes. And I'm making a bit of a mess. Well, I better make sure I clean this place up, because this ain't my kitchen. Now, I'm going to take my meat, and I'm going to season this with Worcestershire sauce and everything that I've got here. A lot of the spices I'll throw in when I'm busy stirring and cooking, but we are going to pre-season this meat as well. Now we did put these pieces of meat through a bit of a brining process, so we just soaked them overnight in water with salt and a little of vinegar. It helps take the blood out of the meat a bit, seasons it, makes it a lot more tender as well. So I'm going to dice this up. Oh, I can hear that sizzling nicely. And you can see how easily this cuts. I mean, it is just
tender. This knife's going through this like it's butter. Right through the center. And there I've got my cubes. Just give it a quick stir. It's not brown yet, but we'll keep on doing that. A lot of the quality of your meat, even if it's game meat, is in the handling and the preparation. We let this deer sit in cold temperatures overnight in a barn, and then of course we browned the meat. The meat was in the brine for approximately 12 or 13 hours. And we took it out overnight, just let it rest, and it's turned out, I can just feel working with it how tender this meat is. Now I'm going to take this in my bowl, so I'm going to just measure out a bit of salt. Love my garlic. You can also use fresh garlic. Don't have some at the moment, but this will suffice. It works very well. Garlic salt, a little bit of black pepper. You can mix it with a spoon. I like to massage it in with my hands. We're going to add more spice, so you can do the recipe the way you'd like it, or if you like your food with a lot more spice, you can add more as you go. A bit of Worcestershire. I've got meat on my hands, and you don't really want to touch bottles with raw meat. All right, put that in. Once again, a little bit of a hand massage. Meat. I'm going to take that over, throw it in, and in it goes. Mix it well together. Alrighty. You can let that cook. I'll keep on stirring it. We'll brown it. Now I'm just going to dice up all my vegetables. As far as the potatoes are concerned, they've been washed. You can either peel them or just chop them up and put them in whole. Just depends on how you like your potatoes. Again, personal preference, how you like your tomatoes or your vegetables in a stew. I like them diced real fine, as fine as I can get them. One of my favorite things, jalapeno. They definitely don't rub sensitive parts of your body with jalapeno. Bit of red pepper. There's no real finesse when I make a stew. There's no real reason to be chopping like a professional chef as far as I'm concerned. The truth is, I'm not a professional chef, just a guy that likes to hunt and cook and eat natural food. Add a bit of a stir, get everything in, get all those flavors, tomato, red pepper, get them to combine with each other a little bit. I also put a little bit of Worcestershire in that. Got some mushrooms here, I love mushrooms. A little bit of black pepper on everything. Bean. Here. All right, time for this to go in. The meat's already browned. As you can see, it's all combining nicely, and in that goes. And that's really looking good. Nice color. Meat, good vegetable mix. We're gonna let this cook probably for about 2.5 to 3 hours. Just slow cook it. Gonna add all the rest of the ingredients. We'll see what we land up with. And I'm just gonna cut these up into chunks, throw them into the stew, let them slow cook. Usually cut that into 4, so you get a nice chunk like that. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of water, a bit more Worcestershire, and I'm gonna add the spices and blend them all together. Potato, the starch in the potato I find also helps thicken the broth, so that's a good add. Yeah, mix it up. We've got about 1/2 cup, or actually 1 cup of water. All right, lid on for about 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna add some spices, and then we're gonna let it just cook real slow. All right, so as you know, Toby and I were deer hunting out here in Nebraska. We did harvest a doe, really nice sized doe. Thanks to Toby, and we were at his dad's place. He was kind enough to invite me up here. And we've already prepared a beautiful stew for dinner tonight, but we had so much meat, and we're going to we use everything from the animal. So what we've done is, we've actually prepared some biltong, which is a South African dehydrated snack that I grew up with, and Toby's prepared jerky. So Toby, if you want to just explain on the jerky and what you've done, and then we'll go over some of the biltong stuff.
Well, yeah, basically what I do is I take my deer, I par freeze it, stick it in the freezer for 2 to 3 hours, get a nice firm texture to where it makes it easy to slice. I like my slices about 1/4 inch to 3/8 thickness. It's good solid meat, chunks that you can enjoy at a later date, not right away. It preserves it for up to 6 months and makes things really tasty. Kids love it, absolutely love it. Can't keep it in the house.
This may be a first. I've taken white-tailed deer. I'm used to using either beef here in the States when I do my biltong. I also do my own jerky, but this is white-tailed deer. And the difference between jerky and biltong, it's close to 3/4 of an inch thick to an inch thick is what we slice it, and usually a lot longer than this. This piece is currently marinating in cumin, salt, pepper, a little bit of onion salt, and I'm still going to probably add a little bit of granule pepper to this. Then this is going to be hanging in Toby's dehydrator over here. Now what Toby's also done, which is different to the biltong, is he is preparing like a marinade, and the jerky will get this marinade, which we're going to put in, and we'll go through the whole process as well of putting the stuff in his dehydrator and adding the marinade to the mix. I may actually try some of with the biltong. I think that may be something really different, and we can see how that comes out.
Absolutely.
If you want to just let them know what you've got in that mix, that would be fantastic.
Basically what my recipe that I like is a soy sauce, teriyaki sauce, brown sugar, pepper, salt, garlic, and then any other type of seasonings you want. Chili flakes is, I bring it to a simmer to dissolve all the sugars in the sauce. I make about 3 cups, and then I let it cool, bring it down to temperature to where it's not going to cook the meat as it marinates for 24 hours. I've already prepared the sauce. It takes a little bit, and we just mix it up. And once we have our meat ready, we'll go ahead and pour the sauce over the meat, and then we'll refrigerate this for 24 to 48 hours. We're still a little hot, I see, but the meat temperature is cool. It'll cool it down. So we'll take a little bit of this back. We can soak some of that biltong in. And we'll take this and we'll let it marinate for 24 to 48 hours. And that will soak into the grains of the meat and allow for total saturation of flavors. You'll get a full-on effect of your deer, as well as the flavor that you are marinating it in. It'll be sweet and salty, and it'll be spicy, just the way I like it.
So that is our end product, and it looks absolutely phenomenal.
Big old chunks of deer meat in there, fresh vegetables.
Everything cooked up real good.
Delish.
Well, let's scoop up a bowl, and I'm gonna grab some as well.
You better.
So after 2 days of hunting, Toby and I finally finished with our stew. Stew, actually, we left cooking the whole day. Absolutely the whole day in the pot. We ended up cutting meat for jerky and doing a few other things. We actually had a good time. So we're gonna sit down, enjoy this dinner. It's a wonderful stew, and really tasty and tender, absolutely like when I was cutting that meat. I actually could feel how soft this meat was, and it has turned out to be absolutely superlative. So we're going to enjoy dinner, and remember, subscribe, like, take a look at the Catch Cook merchandise. We've got some really great stuff on the website, and we'll see you on the next one. Doesn't taste like beer.
No.
Not that's the thing.
No.
You know what does it as well as the cumin.
Yeah. Cumin, all the season, I don't want to say all the seasons, takes the game out of it.
But the step
So
of
there's
cooking,
no game flavor to it, because you've added natural flavors
Yeah.
to it. Your pepper, your
All
salt, even the red peppers, the tomatoes.
and you know what? You can't take the jalapeno cooked up in there.
Yeah, so you can't taste any jalapeno. It's got a little bite, but it's not a burn,
Yeah.
like a habanero, something.